let you make your point, Booger. There's not a lot of difference in terms of the entire body of work if you're looking at the analytics. Notre Dame's a little bit higher in FPI, which is a forward-looking measure. They're basically the same everywhere else.
So here's the thing.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Rick, man. It's LIB Media, man. I'm back again. Real quick, I apologize about the glare in the back. I don't know. I'm gonna have to move my desk or something at some point, but excuse me about that too. A little bit under the weather, but I'm here to make this video either way. I wanted to make this video because this weekend we know the CFP starts, college football playoffs. First and foremost, shout out to Fernando Mendoza for winning the the Heisman. Well deserved. He had a great season. He had a Heisman-worthy season. He won the games that he was supposed to win. He won in big moments. And so I just want to say shout out to him. We rarely get to see people like him who transfer. You know, it's reminiscent of Cam Newton. I don't want to compare him to Cam, but, you know, transfer to Auburn, you know, came in as a high recruit to Florida, had to bounce around, transfer to Auburn, and then ran the table and deserved that Heisman. Was 1,000,000% the engine for his team. So Mendoza has been that engine for Indiana. And then they knocked off Ohio State. So real well deserved. So for the CFP, right? The question is, did they get it right? So where do I want to start at with this, right? So this is what the CFP look like. James Madison is playing Oregon. Alabama plays Oklahoma. Tulane plays Ole Miss. Miami plays A&M. And then you have the top four schools, which I think is right. Georgia should definitely be a top four school. Ohio State just moving to number 2. I'm not. That's whatever. I mean, that changes the bracket. Should they have moved to like 4 maybe? Who knows? I guess they wanted to keep them on a separate bracket. So they were going to be 2 and 3 because they only wanted them to play Indiana again if it was the Natty. So the Miami Notre Dame thing, I don't even think is a conversation. Miami gets in. They won the head-to-head. You got the same record. You win the head-to-head, you get in. That's my opinion. Alabama was the tricky one because they made it to the SEC championship game, which gave them a 3rd loss. Now you have a 3-loss team. Does a 3-loss team deserve to be in? You got to do that because people believe that the SEC is the best conference and you shouldn't be penalized for losing a championship game because, like Ole Miss, for example, didn't make it to the championship game, but they were always going to be in. So that's kind of the tricky part. Texas Tech looked like a good team all year. They had the 1 loss. Oregon has 1 loss to only Indiana, so them being at 5, just that makes sense. They ran the table. Georgia lost to Alabama early in the season, but came back and ran the table. A&M's only loss was to Texas. It was a pretty brutal loss. I never thought A&M was that good of a team, but the way the CFP is, they deserve to be in. They beat everybody they were supposed to beat. They were doing what they were supposed to do all year long. Then you look at the Tulane and James Madison ones. So this is where it starts. You start to ask the question, is it the 12 best teams, right, just in general, or is it, you know, you won your conference, you went undefeated, you did all these other different things? Because that's where you got to kind of play the game and ask these questions, because a lot of people are going to say, you could have just taken James Madison out and throw another team, I don't know, maybe Texas, or just throw another team in there that people believe that Notre Dame, that people believe actually can compete. I think the problem with that is when they originally extended the CFP, they did it because of the year Florida State missed, and they went undefeated and they still missed it. And I think if you do that, then you're creating the same problem by saying, well, we're just going to take these other teams out and put other people in. Now, will James Madison put up a fight against Oregon? I doubt it, but I think that's what the CFP is for. Like, that's where it becomes a very interesting, nuanced conversation. They need to clarify who should make the CFP, right? Is it the 4 conference winners? Because when you do that, the ACC only got one team in here, right? And only ACC team is Miami, and they didn't even make it to the ACC championship game, right? So then you just ask the questions of who plays who, how much weighs into your schedule, how much weighs into when you beat a team rather than the team you beat. Meaning, like, if you beat a high ranking team early in the season, right? So like Alabama beat Georgia when Georgia was ranked like number 2. Does that matter more? Do you get more weight because of that? You know, things of that nature. So you got to kind of like add all these things up and see where you land. You know, Ole Miss, the whole thing with Lane Kiffin. I made a video about that. Y'all can check that out. I don't really know what kind of team they're going to beat. People expect them to beat Tulane. I wouldn't be surprised if Tulane came out and gave them a run for their money because they're so demoralized and just kind of thrown off. But I can make a separate video about my predictions. This is not really a prediction video. This is just a video just kind of talking through the CFP and just how I feel about everything and how everybody's placed. The one team you can say is placed correctly is Indiana. Like, you could say, well, they got them right, of course, but Oregon, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Georgia, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and A&M are teams 1,000,000% that's supposed to be in. The real only question marks for people was Miami, Tulane, James Madison, and Alabama. Alabama's going to get the nod because of the SEC thing. Until it's 100% proven otherwise, I know the Big Ten is on a run proving it. If they win the national championship this year, the Big Ten might start to get the nod, but they're going to get the nod. The SEC is considered the best conference in college football, so that team is going to get a nod. And let's see if Tulane and James Madison can put up a fight. If they put up a fight and the game is kind of close, I think people will kind of change their opinion a little bit. And then hindsight is always 20/20, so we can always come back and look and be like, I wonder, you know what I mean? Like now I wonder, like, was that actually the right pick? The game, it was a close game where one team won by a field goal or a touchdown or something. So I'll be interested to see, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man. I feel like this is a very nuanced conversation. I feel like this is a conversation that could go on for ages, and people can have arguments why people should get in and other people shouldn't get in. So I'll be interested to hear about it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. And y'all stay blessed, man. And y'all like, comment, subscribe to your boy. This has been Rick. I'm out of here. Peace.